Hello everybody. This is the second video in the video series of cost basis in cryptocurrency on the CryptoDoc. We're going to be talking about one example of a scenario that impacts cost basis with regards to trading fees. So again, this is the CryptoDoc. And like everyone else on YouTube, the disclaimer or the famous disclaimer: this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor or a tax preparer, and this content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. In the first video in the video series about cost basis in cryptocurrency, we mainly used words and we did simple calculations. But as most of you already know, cryptocurrency calculations are not straightforward, and you have to get a deep understanding of the dynamics that happen when you buy and sell cryptocurrency. So I'm going to give you guys a visual aid to help with that understanding. So here we have a pie and a circle inside the pie. The yellow portion of the pie represents me purchasing 1 ETH at a price of $2,000. And the blue dot in the middle represents a 0.1% fee, which is $2 in this case. So my total cost basis for owning the cryptocurrency is $2,002. Like most people who own ETH, I hodled for 3 months and I doubled my money. And now 1 ETH is worth $4,000. But the fee that I spent to purchase the original 1 ETH did not change. So, in other words, what do you see? Well, what I see is that the size of the pie, which is the yellow portion, is bigger, and that represents the doubling in the ETH price. But the fee did not expand with it. So the proportion of the fee to the cost basis basically did not change, but the proportion of the fee to the value of the asset decreased as the asset increased. So fees is something that we really need to understand in cryptocurrency because there's so many different types of fees, and it depends on what you're doing with the cryptocurrency. But at the end of the day, it boils down to you spending money to do something with the cryptocurrency. So if you want to have an easy way to identify the money that you spent, if it was a fee or not, just think of it this way. If the money that you spent to do something with the cryptocurrency is not back in your pocket, and there's no way to get that money back, basically, that money that you spent was a fee. So when you buy 1 ETH and you sell 1 ETH, all you have to do is add all the cost basis things together and then subtract it from the gain, and you get the capital gain. But things are not as simple as that. You could buy a portion of an ETH, like a half an ETH, or you could sell a portion of an ETH, like a tenth of an ETH. And how does that impact how you deal with cost basis and how you deal with fees? Well, there is a word that is good at describing what I'm about to talk about. And I'm not sure if this is an official word, but I kind of made it up. Maybe other people used it before in other contexts, but I think it's a very descriptive word. And that word is fee discharging. So what do I mean by fee discharging? Well, as you saw at the beginning, when I purchased the 1 ETH, I had a $2 fee because 1 ETH was worth $2,000. And I added that fee to my cost basis. And what I mean by discharging the fee is that I want to take out the fee from the cost basis when I sell either the whole ETH or a portion of the ETH. And subtract that from my capital gain or capital loss. And there's a lot of options where you can do that in different ways. And there's no law to say that you can't do something in a specific way, as long as all the balance of all the actions that you do adds up to zero. So I'm going to give the first option for fee discharge. Okay? So I decided after the 3-month hodl that I'm going to sell a quarter of my ETH. So my ETH is worth $4,000, and I'm selling a quarter of that, which is equal to a value of $1,000. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move that circle that represents the fee into the slice of the pizza pie that I'm going to sell. So I sold a quarter of ETH and I discharged the whole fee to purchase the ETH initially in that pizza slice. And what's left, or what I'm holding, is 3/4 of an ETH, and there's no fee anymore inside the cost basis of what I'm holding. So I sold a quarter of an ETH along with the discharge of $2, and the disposed amount or value of the quarter ETH is $1,000. And, selling is an action that you did on a cryptocurrency. So now you have a red dot, and that red dot represents the selling fee, which is also 0.1% in this example, and that's equal to $1 because we're selling $1,000 or getting $1,000. So now the final cost basis for this quarter pie or slice of the pie is $503. Where did I get those $3? From the blue dot, which is worth $2. And that was when I bought the 1 ETH. And the red dot, which is worth $1. And that's when I sold this quarter of an ETH. So now my capital gain or loss is $1,000 minus $503, and that equals $497 of capital gains represented in green. But that's not the end of the story. What do you do with the cost basis of the 3/4 that are left? Well, basically, I held 3/4 of a fee of ETH, and I am left with $1,500 worth of ETH, but I discharged the whole initial $2 amount, and I also discharged the $1 fee the moment that I incurred that fee. So now my cost basis is $1,500. So now let's go to a second scenario. That scenario is, I don't want to discharge the $1 that fee that I incurred when I sold the cryptocurrency or quarter of an ETH. So basically, you could technically keep the new fee from the selling action of a quarter of an ETH with the held portion and add the $1 to the cost basis after taking out the $2. If you want to test yourself, calculate the new cost basis of the remaining held position. I'll just give you the answer for this one. Basically, the cost basis for the remaining held position is $1,501, and the capital gain that you have now is $498 instead of $497. So you're going to be taxed on $1 extra compared to the first scenario. Now, what's the other option that you have? The other option is also dividing the fee in the proportion that you sold the ETH. So, the $2 fee is now a quarter of that. So that means that it's 50 cents. And then just calculate the cost basis. And you already know the math by now, hopefully. So the other scenario is I want to not discharge the fee. So basically, I move the fee out of the slice of the pie that I'm going to sell. And you see that red dot? That's the fee of selling. So I could technically not discharge any of the fees and just keep adding to my cost basis position. But I would be paying a little bit more tax because my capital gain would be higher. At the end of the day, if I sold all the pie, I would be discharging the fees at the same time, and we would go back to that first video that we made about cost basis. So, what's the TLDR of this? Well, there's a number of combinations you can use to manipulate your cost basis with regards to the trading fees. And once we go to a broader sense of how to manipulate the cost basis, then you'll see bigger changes in how much capital gain or capital loss you had or will have. So trading fees is just one example of how to manipulate the cost basis. You don't have to stick to the same method each time you buy or sell a cryptocurrency in terms of how you manipulate the cost basis. As long as the balance at the end of the day is zero, meaning that the amount you bought, sold, gained, lost adds up all together and you have a zero balance, that means that your accounting is pristine. But if you decide to change how you did one step, you have to change all the steps that you did after that step you changed, because it's kind of like a chain reaction. So another TLDR is that what I like to do is I like to discharge my fee as soon as I can because it's too much to handle. I don't really like dividing quarters or thirds or anything like that. Once I buy something and then I sell it, I discharge all the fee that I can in one go, and I have a pure pie without a circle in the middle or a quarter of a circle in the middle or whatever. So now, what are we going to be talking about in the next video? Well, we're going to be talking about the different scenarios that affect cost basis with a focus on what is a lot. A lot, we'll talk about that in the next video, so stay tuned. And I would really appreciate it if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, ping the notification bell to get any updates, and this is the Crypto Doc signing off.